welcome back to another episode of Coaster of the Week here on the Branthwaite Productions YouTube channel. Yet again, another Thursday has come and it is time for another 2 roller coasters here on the Branthwaite Productions YouTube channel. Now, some of you might notice that last week I didn't do any roller coasters at all. Now this was because I actually was doing a special announcement video about Series 5 of Coaster of the Week next year. If you've not checked that video out, I'll put a link in the description below so you can view that video, because next year Coaster of the Week is going to be reaching Series 5 and it is going to be the biggest and best series you will ever see on the Branthwaite Productions YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm not going to do any spoilers because I don't want you to know what is going to be going on just yet. If you want to know what's going to be going on next year, check it out in the description below and I'll put that link in there as well. So, yeah, again, another episode, and it's time for 2 more roller coasters here on Branthwaite Productions. So, this week we're going to start off with our first roller coaster, which is actually called Shell Shocked. Now, this coaster is quite a good one because this has actually got a lot of inversions. It's actually got a crane that lifts the coaster car and places it on the next track, and then the coaster car then releases and then goes down the next few drops. And then it also has 6 loops, because this is actually a snail themed coaster, which I'm going to be talking to you about, and it is very, very fast, and I can't wait to show you this ride in the next few seconds. So let's have a look at the thrill data, and then we're going to be off with the first POV of the night. So the max speed for this coaster is 54.57 miles per hour. The average speed is 26.70 miles per hour. The length is 52 miles, which is a nice little distance for the coaster. 1 minute and 9 seconds it takes to get around the whole track. There's 15 drops on this ride, and like I said with the inversions, there are 6 loops, so 6 loops in total while the whole coaster car goes around the track. So the thrill rating, 100 out of a possible 100, and the nausea is 87 out of 100, which is not that great, but it is not definitely 100 out of 100. So yeah, that was the thrill data for Shell Shock. So, without further ado, let's get straight on to the first roller coaster of this fantastic sunny evening. So there you go, that was the first roller coaster of this evening. Now I really enjoyed that coaster because, like I said, I actually used that crane element at the start of the ride. Well, just a few seconds after the start of the ride, I added that little crane section which makes the coaster car lift up, and then it goes on to the next section of the track, and then the coaster then makes its way around the rest of the track. And my favourite part was definitely the 6 loops that I actually added all the way through, so it was non-stop, so I didn't go 1 loop and then leave a few bits of track. I actually did all 6 loops together, which was absolutely brilliant. I thought I really enjoyed that, to be honest. And yeah, that was Shell Shock. So let's move on to coaster number 2. So then, here we go then, it is time for coaster number 2 of this evening, and this coaster is quite a strange one because this coaster only has 1 drop on this ride, because this next coaster I'm going to be talking to you about is a water dinghy themed coaster, and it is known as, and my coaster is called the Big Splash. Now the reason I called it the Big Splash, well, it's just got 1 drop. So where do you think this drop might be on this coaster? Well, it is right at the very end of the ride. So what actually happens is this coaster, it makes its way around a few corners just to start the ride off nice and smoothly and relaxing, and then suddenly the coaster will then climb up a massive lift hill for about a few minutes, and then it will then climb up down onto a corner, and then it will then go straight, and then it will turn round, and then it will then go straight again, and then the last thing that's going to happen on this ride is going to be the big drop, and that's why I call it the big splash, because this coaster has a very, very big splash at the very, very end of the ride. So before I actually go through the POV, I'm just going to quickly go through the field data like I always do for all coasters I do. So max speed 83.69 miles per hour, the average speed is 10.34 miles per hour. The time it takes to get around the track is 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Like I said, I am going to split the clip up in different sections. I'll show you a little bit of the coaster going around the corners, and then when it gets a little bit too much, I'll then just skip those sections and then move straight onto the lift hill and then do the big drop at the end. So the length is 67 miles per hour, a little bit longer than the last one I did. There's one drop on this ride, like I just said, only the one drop, and there are no inversions because this coaster, water coasters can't have loops or have any inversions whatsoever. So the thrill rating, 55 out of 100, that's okay, that's a really good thrill rating. And then nausea, 29 out of 100, that is absolutely brilliant because it's in the green section, it's not too sick or anything, it's not even that fast, it just goes down one big drop at the end of the ride. So if you're ready, let's move on to coaster number 2 of this evening. So there you go then, that was the second coaster of this evening. Now, like I said, it is called the Big Splash because it had a massive, massive splash effect at the end of the ride. And I thought it was really, really exciting at the end because when you go round, it feels like it's not connected to the drop, but when you go round, you then realise it is connected to the lift hill and there is actually a big drop, and it creates an exciting atmosphere because it starts to get a little bit scarier when you actually climb up the lift hill towards the end of the ride. So yeah, that was the Big Splash. So yeah, let's move on to the reflection now, and then I'm going to end this week's episode of Coaster of the Week. So let's start off with Shell Shock. Now Shell Shock was a really, really good ride. I thought I really enjoyed the 6 loops connected all together to make the coaster even exciting. The crane was really, really good, and I thought it made it a little bit scary to start off with, because you didn't actually know that it was going to happen, like where the crane is going to take you. I thought it was going to go up or down, but it actually went side to side and then released the coaster car from there. I thought I really enjoyed that one. And then finally we then had the big splash, which was the one drop spectacular, which was absolutely amazing, and I thought that coaster was really good to watch. So in my opinion, I think the winner this week is going to be both coasters, because they were really, really amazing. Like I said, with the Shell Shock coaster, it was one of the best rides I actually did, with the 6 loops connected together, which made it exciting, and of course the big splash with the one drop to make it very exciting at the end. So there you go then, that's the end of another episode of Coaster of the Week. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you check out the roller coaster POV videos in this episode, which will be online on Monday and Tuesday. The first coaster in this episode will be online on Monday, and then of course you all know that the second coaster will then be online on the Tuesday. So thank you very much for watching Branthwaite Productions. I will be back next Thursday for another episode of Coaster of the Week. Until then, see you later everyone, bye for now.
Thank you for watching Branthwaite Productions. Check out Branthwaite Productions on Facebook and Instagram for more updates on the channel. Click on the Branthwaite Productions icon to subscribe to the channel. Check out all the other videos that are in the end screen below.